Green zone! Green zone! Green zone! Green zone! Green zone! Green zone!
Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of the Grass is Greener Zoomcast. I am Coach Tim Wunderlich. I am one of the assistant coaches that coaches the jumps and multi-events here at Dartmouth. And I am joined by some of our captains, and they're coming on to kind of share the day in the life of Dartmouth, their perspective of their experience here. And me as an alumni, I kind of have more of an intimate connection to the campus community. So I felt that I could moderate this and provide some conversation. So yeah, guys, like feel free to jump in, and I want to kind of hear what your experience has been like at Dartmouth so far, and especially with Dartmouth track, and just what's made it special for you.
I'll start it off. So, hi, I'm Sam. I'm a 21. I throw shot put on the team. I think the thing that really makes Dartmouth so special, and like you'll experience it in your everyday life, is just the community that we have here. And I know people say it all the time and it sounds so cliche, but it's seriously the people that make the experience so special in my eyes. Like, I'll have class here, practice there, but like I'll always see friendly faces no matter where I am. And I feel like I really enjoy the small net community that we have, because I'll have people, whether they're just like roommates or track teammates. I always have people in my class, in the library. It's just really nice to have people that you know and that make you happy around you at all times. So that's what I love most on the day-to-day basis. But I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about like their favorite experiences, or I don't know.
Yeah, going off of that. So my name is Abigail Brazil. I'm a senior and I'm a distance athlete. And I think something that I always thought about when on my like college search was people would ask me like, do you want to go to a small school or a big school? And I'd be like, medium. I don't know. Like, I don't want small or big. And so going off of what Sam was saying, like, I definitely think like this is the perfect medium where you are walking to class and you definitely see like a couple track people that you know and you say hey, but then there's also plenty of people that you don't know, and I think that like mix of it is perfect. And in Hanover like is a pretty small town as well, but like when you're walking through town, like you always recognize someone, which is like makes it feel like home.
Yeah, that was something that kind of struck me, is when it's a humble atmosphere at Dartmouth, like the rural atmosphere, but you're around a lot of high achieving people, and the elite Ivy League education, and that was something that was just made it really unique, and just different than any other school that I had been to. Made me feel comfortable, but also pushed at the same time. So kind of cool.
I think one of the cool things about Dartmouth that like you obviously will interact with every day is like the way that like our classes are set up and the way that you have to take classes. So out of all the schools that I looked at, Dartmouth was the only trimester based like school that we're on. So like most people take 3 classes a term. So it makes it pretty manageable, especially with track. Practice is a few hours a day, but when you only have like 3-4 hours of classes a day too, it gives you like tons of time to like work on your schoolwork, actually have social interactions, which some people might be worried about not getting the chance to do that. And I think it's actually like a really cool way to take classes as compared to the basic semester system.
Yeah, that's a question that I receive a lot, is that like how do you balance like academics and athletics? And only taking 3 classes a term at Dartmouth, I think a lot of prospective students don't realize that. So it definitely allows some flexibility for really just managing your time well, and that's something that I think helped me balance and get on a schedule as well.
Yeah, I can echo that a little bit. I feel like something that I really admire in my high school self was like my ability to go to class 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, however long a high school school day is, and then also go to practice for 2 hours and then go home and do homework. And I felt like coming into college, I wasn't sure how I would ever handle something like that with college level classes, especially at an Ivy League institution. And then I came here and it took me a little while, but I learned so many skills in terms of time management and like figuring out a way to handle going to class and then also eating right and sleeping right and then doing my homework and also all while handling like a social life and trying to make new friends. But even though it took like a little while for me to realize it, it definitely came pretty quickly compared to like what I thought was going to happen. And it honestly has given me a lot of skills like for life after Dartmouth. And like even when I'm home for over break, like I learned to manage my time in terms of like when I need to wake up and not just like sitting in bed all day. So like I definitely think having 3 classes is great, and it's really easy to like manage your time as long as you figure out a good structure.
And kind of going off the time management thing, I think another thing that I learned pretty quickly here is kind of responsibility with your time and other people's times as well. And so one thing I was worried about coming into Dartmouth, especially was, missing classes for maybe a weekend trip down to Virginia or something like that. But you kind of learn how to like approach professors in a professional manner and make sure that they understand that you have other obligations. And another thing that I love about Dartmouth is that all the professors I've had have been super accommodating with that. They try to help you out as much as they can. Whether that's just giving you, like it used to just be like kind of like an online version of what we were doing at in-person classes, but that has become, but either way, that's something that I learned as well, which I thought was helpful, something that I appreciate about Dartmouth.
Yeah, that, I receive that question a lot too, is like how do professors handle basically conflicts with going to meets, and something that I think again makes Dartmouth unique is the professors are really dedicated to teaching, and I'm sure you guys have experienced that. In other institutions, sometimes they're more dedicated to research, basically. So I think the professors that really want to help undergraduates, it's kind of a testament to that kind of environment. But so tell me what you guys think about Dartmouth track. Like, give me your experience about being on the track team at Dartmouth, how it's kind of shaped your experience here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it just shaped my experience. I think it really like set the foundation for it. And honestly, if I didn't have track or my teammates, I probably wouldn't have made it through Dartmouth, honestly. I think not only did it get me in like a good mental state because I had such amazing friends like right off the bat coming in freshman year, which was definitely something that I was worried about. But you just come in and you're automatically thrown into this big family. And it's just amazing. I feel like so comfortable around everyone. So that's the like social aspect of it. But then track wise, I think it's just an amazing program. And I've been kind of having ups and downs with injuries and little setbacks here and there, but the coaches are always so like adaptable and they can just help you do exactly what you need to do. Coach Ferrito adapts my workouts, especially if I'm having issues with my back or something. He'll be able to swap out a workout or an exercise here and there and just make sure that I'm doing what's best for me. And I think that's really awesome. And also speaks to how our coaches really care about us as individuals, not only as athletes, but as human beings, which I think sometimes gets kind of overlooked in a D1 experience because some people may just be focused on the numbers. But I know that our staff really cares about how we are on the track, in school, at home, and just how we are as well-rounded individuals.
Yeah, that's why we coach, right? I mean, I mean, you guys aren't coaches, I am, but like I want to support athletes on and off the track. I think that's one of our goals here is to see development in more than one way over your course of your 4 years. And I think Dartmouth does a great job at that. And our staff, I think, really prides itself on that. So, and it's rewarding for us, and that's why we do it. So what else do you guys think?
Yeah, this is basically just going to echo a lot of what Sam just said, but I think coming into Dartmouth, like I was pretty overwhelmed by the size of the team, especially just like as a D1 program. It was pretty overwhelming to hear that like we had over 100 people on a team, and that was just like so many individuals to get to know their names. But I think learning all of these people and like learning their experiences and like what they've been through, who they are as a person, has like really helped me to understand everything that this team has been through, and then also just like gain a lot of great connections in terms of like, I don't know, like alumni connections, being able to look up to people in a completely different specialty and then a different year than you, like you just gain a lot of confidence in like talking to these individuals. And like I spoke about this before in something else, I don't remember, but like I think running itself has like given me a lot of confidence in like becoming like just an adult and like knowing like what I'm capable of, and like class or going into like the adult world, like it just definitely gives you a lot of confidence talking to people who are older than you, or like people that you really don't know, and you definitely come into contact with a lot of those people on like such a large team. And then also kind of going back to like the coaches, all the coaches here are completely absorbed in like everything that they're doing, and so like they know what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and they've trained these athletes who are so like, they've trained professional athletes, they've trained athletes who right now are performing really well, or they themselves are professional athletes, and so like they know what they're doing. And that also is a really interesting aspect of Dartmouth track and field that like I definitely feel like I probably took for granted for a while, but like really thinking about who they are as coaches is really important.
Yeah, kind of talking about what we were talking about earlier, but I feel like something that sets Dartmouth apart, even among the Ivy League, is its collaborative nature in general. I think in classes, like, you know, sure, we all want to get a good grade, but we want to do it together. And so, like, I will become friends with like random people on the first day of class, and we help each other get through the class. And I think that's the same thing with track. Is it's this idea of like we're all in this together, and like we all want to help each other reach their full potential, which is just such a like healthy and like productive way of approaching our sport. And it definitely has pushed me to my potential. And I feel like being able to have the opportunity to like compete and like go into our indoor track every day, which like a lot of places don't have, and just like have the atmosphere of a D1 program has been so helpful for me as a runner and as a person. And I also think like just the Ivy League experience, like going to HEPS, like every season or whenever you're able to, is like such a cool experience to be able to like be immersed in that championship environment. And then the last thing I'll say is just the resources that we have available for us. Again, with this collaboration, like everyone is here to help us as student athletes, and we have like different resources, whether it be laundry or counseling or academic help or jobs after college. And all of those things are like for us as student athletes, which is extremely helpful to help us manage our time and has been such a key part of my Dartmouth experience.
Yeah, it's an investment, right? I mean, I think if we're going to bring in athletes here, and compete at a high level, that we have to invest in them and give them the resources to succeed. So I think you know, that just kind of goes back to Dartmouth really supporting undergraduates in a way that I feel like other places don't. And you know, we kind of embody that on our team as well, and really want people to progress in their 4 years and give them the resources to do so, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's something, looking back, is something I wish I utilized more, because especially as a senior, you know, planning my post-grad life, I'm thinking about jobs and applying to different grad schools and stuff, and it's just so stressful. But there's such a great network that we have, and I really wish I had used the resources given in like DP2. I know Jen Chucks is amazing with everything she does there. She helped me build my resume, and I was like, I would be lost without her. I simply wouldn't know what to do moving forward. So I think it's just really awesome that we have the DP2 program to just really keep us in line and offer all these different resources, because I'd truly be lost without them.
Yeah, I've learned so much just by like being an athlete here. Like it teaches you skills. I think Rachel was talking about like how running has taught her so much. I've learned so much from throwing and having to compete at a team like Dartmouth. There's a lot of programs that are offered to athletes only that build their like leadership and you know, post athletic careers. It's like resumes Sam was talking about. I know I took something called Drive that's offered. That's a pretty big thing that's exclusive to Dartmouth. That's taught me a ton. And then not even just the stuff offered by the school for athletes, but being part of such a big team. We have, you know, about 100 kids in this team. Everyone has taken some sort of different class or major, or they know a professor. So I know recently we've just been picking classes here, and I know a few freshmen have like reached out to me and Sam on the throw squad, like, hey, what's a good course? I'm trying to take this. Is this professor good? I've been able to reach out to other people on the team, like, hey, I'm thinking of taking this course and I know absolutely nothing about anything. Is this good? And they'll like, there's probably someone on the team that can help you with it or has taken it, which is kind of like huge when you have so many classes to pick from.
Yeah, no, I think just the one team, one family kind of atmosphere that we've had here. It really, and as soon as you're on campus, as a first year athlete, you are part of that. There's, so I think, and you get to take advantage of that family. So I think, it is comforting to know that you're going to be part of something as soon as you're here, and really utilize what Dartmouth can give you. And another thing is, like, Dartmouth track, we're the second largest team on campus, and so that's a lot of people and a lot of different people, as well as, like, the Dartmouth athletic community is about a quarter of the student body. So that's another question I receive a lot is we are invested into the student athletes here, and it's kind of cool to be a part of that, honestly, as a coach too. But one other question I have for you guys is tell me about just outside of track and school, like Dartmouth environment, social life, where we're located, like how have you kind of taken advantage of it?
For me personally, I am a pretty outdoorsy person, I would say. And so I don't know if I introduced myself actually, but I'm Tim Zepf at 21, mid-distance runner. So the trails in Hanover, I think are pretty unbeatable for running. So I think that's one thing that I love to do. And then even just kind of going out for little hikes around the area, or even bigger hikes in the White Mountains, which are only like, an hour and a half away. I think it's something that's pretty unique to Dartmouth. Kind of one thing that's fun is, we have this thing called the 50 every sophomore summer, where a group of kids will just hike 50 miles from Mount Moosilauke to campus, and there'll be like help stations set up all the way, all Dartmouth student led, which I think is just kind of like a cool experience, and it definitely shows the camaraderie of Dartmouth as a school itself. And I just think it's special, and it kind of speaks to the people who go to Dartmouth for sure.
Yeah, I basically can echo everything that Tim just said, but like for people who aren't necessarily outdoorsy, I was not an outdoorsy person before coming to college, and like I went on my first year trip, which was super interesting. That's just something that like all the first years, well, not all of them, but like first years can do coming into Dartmouth, and you are assigned to like hiking or canoeing, kayaking, like all different types of things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do anywhere else. And I was assigned to hiking, and I really enjoyed the experience. It was like a little traumatic being away from home for a little while, but like it was my first time away, and it was just really a really great bonding experience with like people that I never would have met, and like I'm still really close with all of the people that I was with to this day. But like then in terms of like not being a very outdoorsy person, we really are a 2-hour bus ride to Boston. Like it's pretty easy to get out of Hanover if you feel like you ever need to, but Hanover itself is like its own little community, which is so awesome. Like we have so many different restaurants, there are like little places to shop in. Like it really is a great place to be, honestly, as a college student, because you wouldn't want to meet in a town that's too big where you're just completely overwhelmed with like new places to go, you haven't been anywhere. But at the same time, like you get to know all of these people in this tiny little town, and it just becomes your home so quickly.
I think you started talking like right up my alley when you mentioned the food in Hanover. I there's like so many local places to eat, and like to name them all would take definitely probably too long. But like those local places are so good, and like I love it. Like some of the pizza joints in town. Like I know that I would go there with some of my friends, just hang out for like hours. Some of the food on campus is like open for really really good hours to like just like sit there for like a while, meet people, hang out with people. We got great food on campus. It's a big thing to look at when you're looking into college. Like honestly, pretty underrated, and we got great food here. And when you think about like places like hang out on campus, like yeah, it might feel like a small campus, but there's a lot of like social kind of like hangout spaces. I know I like going in Collis a lot. Basement of Collis, which is like our student center, has like this pool hall, like game room, and there's like speakers hooked up, and like there's like multiple pool tables, pinball machines, TVs down there. And I definitely remember freshman year a lot going down there with like people in my dorm, and we would just go play pool, and like someone would like play music on the speakers. It was great.
So I have two things to say. So one is on my like more nerdy side is like we've been talking about, because there's not many grad students here. A lot of my free time is spent doing research with professors, and I know that a lot of students do research with professors, which I think is a super unique opportunity at Dartmouth because of its like smaller graduate population. And then on my non-nerdy side, it's no secret that Greek life has a big presence on Dartmouth's campus. And I'll be the first to say that it freaked me out when I first came here. And I actually am not affiliated at all, but I actually think that has made my Dartmouth experience more positive because it's an open space for everyone to be in and enjoy. And so even though I'm not affiliated, I can go to any place that I want, whenever I want, basically. And so it's not the typical like cliquey Greek life that you would normally hear of. So I honestly can say that it's made my Dartmouth experience better.
Same, Abby. I was unaffiliated, and I think again it didn't hamper my social life at Dartmouth at all, and I was able to really take part in any fraternity or sorority function, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, and I think that goes beyond just Greek life. I think Dartmouth in general is just very like non-cliquey, like Abby said. And I feel like you could be a part of any type of extracurricular or club or anything. Like I remember sophomore summer, I joined a dance team. I don't dance, but like I did it and I had fun and I did it with my friends. And I feel like just our environment is just so inclusive of everyone. And I just feel super comfortable and I can be a part of pretty much any single activity that I wanted to on campus, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah, I think kind of going off of that, like being in a sorority has really only enhanced all of my experiences here. Like I love the team. I love having that space of like going into the locker room and hanging out and sitting there for hours with people. But at the same time, like sometimes it's nice to talk to people who don't know anything about track. And like it is just like a completely different mindset, but it is super nice to just have that option to just like hang out with other people, like do face masks in like a house and watch TV, or like make dinner with other people that you don't normally hang out with. It's super nice. And kind of going off of the dancing thing, like sophomore summer, I tried out for a singing group and I was terrible and I did not get in. And everyone was really proud of me for trying, but like no one made fun of me and I'm still friends with the people that I tried out with. So like that's fine.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I mean, I think there's a lot of schools, a lot of the people on campus, like they will leave campus during the weekends or, and Dartmouth is not like that. I think even though we're in a pretty rural area, the students really get immersed in the campus life, in the undergraduate body. And it's hard to say that and convince someone of that if you haven't really experienced it. But like, as you guys know, like being on campus at Dartmouth is its own little city. Like there's so much to do. And it's very much like catered towards the whole undergraduate experience, which is just really cool, I think, to spend 4 years. But well, that's all I got for you guys. I think we'll wrap up. These are definitely 5 people that have been through a lot at Dartmouth and that really know the institution inside and out. And I hope they were able to provide some insight into the student athlete lifestyle at Dartmouth and like what it can bring. And thank you all for coming for this episode 4. And we'll be back at it with episode 5 soon. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dartmouth on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dartmouth!